offense came to life Sunday versus Minnesota, pounding out a season-high 19 hits and scoring 11 runs. Tonight, Tampa Bay returns to interleague play as they travel into Atlanta, facing slugger Freddie Freeman and the Braves. Tonight, the Rays are one stop closer to home on this 5-game road trip as we greet you from Atlanta, Georgia and Turner Field for Game 1 of this 2-game set between the Rays and the Atlanta Braves. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball, interleague baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Stats. So good to have you looking in. Well, the Rays will take on the Atlanta Braves, a new-look Braves ball club. Not necessarily the top offensive team in the National League. They're in the middle of the pack, but they've been very good in clutch situations, and Freddie Freeman has led the charge there.
Well, you think about Freddie Freeman, imposing, 6 feet 5 inches tall, likes the ball down out over the plate, and when he gets it there, he is extremely productive. He leads this team in average, runs batted in. He's second in home runs and on-base percentage. I'm going to tell you something right now. He's been really hot lately, too. You go back over his last 20 games, he's hit safely in 17 of them, while 10 have been multi-hit games. So they're going to have their hands full with Freddie Freeman. Erasmo Ramirez, what can you say about this guy? Coming off of his best outing of the year, the height of efficiency. You see the line right there. 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs. He did it on 68 pitches, really pounded the strike zone, and then took the changeup down below the zone for chases. Erasmo will look to pitch once again, that efficient, go out there, get a win tonight, and an M&M shower after this one, baby.
Well, you take a look at the pitching matchup. Romero is opposed by a hard-throwing right-hander. Mike Boltonevich is on the hill with a record of 2-0. Some of the Rays farmhands saw him at Durham, so they have a little extra scouting report on him. 2 outings against the Durham Bulls. For Tim Beckham, something of a homecoming. He hails from nearby Griffin, Georgia. He will have a large contingent here in Atlanta tonight. And when we return, Emily Austin will take a look at the Beckham homecoming.
He's been to a handful of games here at Turner Field, but he will take the field for the first time ever as a Major League player tonight. He has about 30-plus family and friends attending tonight's game. He was the first overall pick in the 2008 draft. Like I said, just lived 36 miles outside of the field. Graduated from Griffin High School. Here are his thoughts on taking the field at Turner Field for the first time as a Major League player.
Well, I'll be playing in front of a lot of people that grew up watching me, and it's just always good to play in front of family and a lot of people that you know. Yeah, both of my old high school coaches, Jamie Cassidy, Sal Argilla. My summer ball coach was kind of like my mentor growing up as well. There's Anthony Dye, and so, like I said, it's going to be good to see everyone, man. I know they're very proud of me, and they know how hard I've worked, and it's going to be fun.
Beckham coming off the bench tonight. If he gets the chance to pinch hit, the numbers look good. He was hitting .471 with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs off the bench. We'll see how it turns out. The Braves and the Rays taking on at Turner Field. Dwayne and B.A. up next.
A 2-game set before the Rays return home on Thursday to Tropicana Field. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Kevin Kiermaier will lead it off, followed by Steven Souza Jr. and then Evan Longoria. James Loney hits cleanup. Logan Forsythe at second. David DeJesus at left. Asdrubal Cabrera hits seventh. The number 8 hitter is Rene Rivera. And Erasmus Ramirez here in the National League Park will bat ninth and do the pitching. Mike Fultonevich, a hard-throwing right-hander on the hill. And the first pitch of this game is a fastball in there for a strike. 80 degrees here in Atlanta as we are underway. Foul ball, and Kiermaier quickly behind the young right-hander, 0-2.
Well, you see Fultenovich, you see his numbers here, making his fourth start of the season. The 2-0 record pops a little bit. None of the other numbers really do, but what will be popping tonight, Dwayne, and you know this, is the radar gun. This right-hander has a big-time power fastball.
And a breaking ball dropped into right field, just fair inside the line, and Kiermaier around second. He's going to go for 3, and he's going to make it. A 3-base hit, hustling all the way, Kevin Kiermaier.
You know what? You come over to the National League, and granted, this is Nick Markakis, and he should know better, but Kevin Kiermaier was smelling triple all the way out of the box because he laid this ball softly up the right field line, and watch him turn it on right there. He's making his decision, and boy, he had extra gear, and he's in there easily.
Third triple of the year for Kiermaier, and just like that, the Rays with an early scoring opportunity. Here's Steven Souza Jr. He misses the fastball up, and that one registers at 96.
Well, the one thing to watch with Fultenovich is the fact that big-time fastball, but he can get erratic with the command. We've seen, those numbers on there, 10 walks in 19 innings of work here with the Braves, and that's been troublesome for him his whole journey.
It's popped up foul. That will carry out a play. And the count is 0-2. Fultenovich pitched 2 games against the Durham Bulls. He lost to them 1-0 and 4-2. Right back into the screen. Still 0-2. His most recent outing was a no decision in a 4-3 Atlanta loss. He pitched 6 2/3 in that one against the Reds. Gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, and it was his error on a double play ball that cost him a win. Ground ball sharply hit past third and up the left field side. Kiermaier scores. Souza with a big turn decides to hang on with a single. The stands protruding out toward the left field line, and that ball kicked against that low wall. Otherwise it was headed for the corner.
Now it's a slider. It does not slide. That ball just spinning up there, stays middle of the plate, allows Souza Jr. to get the head out. He rips it by Siriaco down at third base. Kiermaier's going to walk in, and the Rays a quick start here against the Braves.
Here's Evan Longoria. Evan, after the first pitch, skies it into short right. That's Markakis under it, and that is out number 1.
Well, let's take a look at that Atlanta Brave defense, brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we have Todd Cunningham, Cameron Maben, and Nick Markakis. Across the infield third to first, Pedro Siriaco, Andrelton Simmons, Jace Peterson, and Freddie Freeman, with H.A. Pierzynski behind the plate.
Now James Loney to face the hard-throwing right-hander. Fultenovich came to the Braves from the Houston Astros. He was involved in the Evan Gattis trade. Well, you talk about new faces on a ball club. The Braves have a lot of them.
Now, they were busy all winter. They were busy into the spring. Some late trades, that Evan Gattis trade.
Lifted into short left. That's going to fall for a base hit. A turn at second by Souza. He holds on. Cunningham up with it in shallow left, and Loney is aboard.
Now, James Loney, who's been red hot now with a 6-game hitting streak, hitting over 470 during the course of that streak. And when you're hot, these are the kind of hits that drop in off the end of the bat. Little soft serve out into left field. And the Rays with another threat.
Rays going to see a couple of the young Braves pitchers here in this 2-game set. And you see the breakout so far this year through 3 starts. Lefties 400 and right-handed hitters 172. There's a strike. And both Loney and Kiermaier with hits. Souza had the base hit, past the bag at third.
You see Fultonavich keeping an eye on Souza Jr. Those 19 innings of work, there have been 7 stolen base attempts. Team's busy against him.
And that pitch broke into the dirt, and Forsythe could not check. Tony Randazzo says that's a strike. He went around.
Well, when he's able to get that slider going because of the velocity on the fastball, you know as a hitter, you've got to get it started early. Your hands have to be quick. Your thinking has to be extremely quick. And if he presents that slider well, he'll get those chases a lot.
Fly ball back into right field. Markakis backs up to make the catch and back to tag Souza, but he misstepped as he got back to second. His push-off foot slipped, and so he's still at second.
You know, he struggled with this a few games ago, not tagging up on a ball that was hit deep. And watch this. Late, gets back to the bag late, and you can see that foot glides right across the top of the bag. He had the right idea, was a little too far off, made a late decision to go back, and it cost him another opportunity to move up. And when you got a guy on the mound who has trouble with command, you'd like to be 90 feet away in case one skips to the screen.
Here's David DeJesus. Strike at the knees. DeJesus with men in scoring position. 421. 319 overall. Pickoff play at second, and it hits Souza. Souza hit by that pickoff attempt, and flat on his back out there. He appears to be all right. Boy, that can be scary.
Well, we know that Fultonavich has such a big arm, and he lets this fly. And it hit Souza upper back. Right in the middle of the back.
Fultonavich apparently thinking that 0 and 20 was a target.
Well, he hit a moving target. Maybe should have been a quarterback.
One strike to count on David DeJesus. 1-1.
If the tag-up play gets done correctly, that's not an issue. That bruise was because you didn't tag up and go to third.
No one to blame but himself. Now 2 balls and a strike.
You know, that's the one thing, and getting that opportunity to have played in the National League and do some base running. Base running, you've got to have your head on a swivel, especially if you're a guy that comes in. Teams know that you can steal a base. They know you're an aggressive base runner. They're going to try everything they can to keep you close, keep you from running. There's a lot to digest out there.
And he drops that one in. Breaking pitch. Now 2-2. He's thrown 16 pitches. They've all been strikes of one sort or another, except the 2 pitches he missed with here in this at bat by DeJesus. Coming in, 10 walks in 17 innings and 16 strikeouts. He'll be making another 2-2 pitch to DeJesus.
Well, the one thing that this Rays lineup has already done is, number one, they've gotten on the board against him. They put him in the stretch immediately, had to throw some high leverage pitches early, and they've allowed everybody in the dugout and half the lineup to see all of his pitches. We've seen everything but the changeup, the 2 breaking balls, and the heater.
And DeJesus did not go. close. And the count is full.
Well, this is going to be off the plate away. And DeJesus, got away with one.
Ray's got a break there.
Anytime you see David on that half swing go to the smile, he went too far. Because he did it again right there. This time it works out for him.
(3-2) and he taps it. So we'll see another one after the foul ball. Well, how about this? Best record in the major leagues when scoring first. The Astros and the Cardinals 16-2, and the Rays are 15-2.
And the pressure's on because they're on the board.
Well, DeJesus fouls it away. In many ways, a typical David DeJesus at bat. This will be the 9th pitch coming, the next one.
This is why, when you saw the graphic of what he's done with runners in scoring position, you think about the guys who change their approach and are good situational hitters. David DeJesus, James Loney, work at bats, hit the ball the other way.
Ground ball headed to short. Wrong guy to hit it to. Simmons makes the play. Rays settle for 1 run on 3 hits. They leave 2. Bottom of the first coming. Kiermaier. And we go to the bottom of the inning. Let's take a look at the Atlanta lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Jace Peterson's going to lead it off. Pedro Siriaco hits second. Willie Freeman third. Then Nick Markakis, the cleanup hitter, in front of Todd Cunningham. A.J. Pierzynski does the catching. Handles it. Simmons is the shortstop. Cameron Maven will hit eighth and play center. And the pitcher bats ninth. Rasmal Ramirez on the hill for the Rays. Well, here is Peterson batting .284. First pitch from Ramirez is a ball. One.
Well, there's the body of work for Erasmo Ramirez. What he needs to do is get a quick out and lower that ERA. Outside of that, he's been throwing the ball tremendously lately. Think about what he's done after those first 2 outings of the year.
2-2.
And picking up the pace, throwing strikes. He gave up 15 earned runs in his first 5 1/3 innings on the season. That puts you in an immediate big hole.
And over the last 8 appearances, a 142 earned run average. Full count to Peterson.
And how about that? That's covering 19 innings of work, just under 13 pitches an inning.
Well, I think he felt coming here. He was pitching for his life, and there was a lot of pressure, and he appeared to be very cautious out there, and as a result was falling behind a lot of hitters.
Yep. Not overpowering. Cannot pitch that way.
Fly ball toward the line and left. DeJesus is there and makes the catch.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Rays defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield, left to right, DeJesus, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Loney, with Rene Rivera behind the plate.
Well, here's Pedro Siriaco. He's in at third base tonight. A strike. Remember a few years ago when Bobby Valentine saw Siriaco in the Boston Red Sox camp in the spring and fell in love with his high energy. There's Cabrera at shortstop throwing him out. So Siriaco's the second out of the inning. 2 up and 2 down. Siriaco originally with the Pittsburgh organization, then that stint with Boston, then San Diego, Kansas City. Now here in Atlanta.
Well, bouncing around, getting another opportunity up at the top of the order in front of this man right here who's been doing the bulk of the damage for the Atlanta Braves.
Freddie Freeman hitting .313. Rays have the shift on and a cut and a miss. Strike one.
Boy, big swing, and then everybody, as you could well imagine, all the way over. Evan Longoria on the left side to protect against that bunt, now backing up.
0-2. And now with 2 strikes, the flip-flop. Longoria goes to the first base side of second. Cabrera back to the shortstop side.
That has everything to do with Freddie Freeman and will he or won't he lay one down. Evan Longoria is so good at charging those balls with the bare hand, and now when you feel like that's not an option, all of a sudden you put your shortstop back where he belongs, and Evan takes that other position.
Out of play. We'll see another 2-strike pitch.
I had to go to Tom Foley and say, listen.
What's up?
Why are you getting so tricky out there? And he said, hey, listen, it's all about defending that bunt.
It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And even that might only be a half truth. I'm sure there's something else hidden in there.
Yeah, they're not going to tell us everything.
Give you a little bit.
Yeah. There's Tom Foley, the bench coach for Kevin Cash. Line drive, and it's going to be caught by Forsythe. A liner right into the teeth of the shift. 1-2-3, go the Braves. Braves lead 1-0. By Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo Spark, the most affordable watercraft on the water. And Kona Brewing Company, one life right. Don't blow it. Mahalo. Rays lead 1-0 onto the second inning. Rays start this night running second in the East, one full game behind the New York Yankees. First pitch to Cabrera is a strike. The Yankees are on the road against the Washington Nationals, and the Nationals have taken a 2-0 lead at the end of an inning. Freeman bobbles it, but has a lot of time and makes the play unassisted. So if the Rays could win this one and the Nationals could beat the Yankees, the Rays would be in a tie for first place, and we're at the quarter mark in this season. The Rays coming in, playing their 40th game of the year tonight.
How long ago has it been since you got to that point you're talking about, and only 2 teams in the American League East have a winning record?
Yep.
That is not the norm.
Rene Rivera misses the fastball in the mid-90s, strike one.
Yeah, this has been a quick 40 games.
Well, it's been an eventful 40 games. The Rays, when you talk about injuries, and that's what we've had a lot of conversation about. In fact, the Rays to this point, they've used one player for each game. They've used 40 players this year. This is the 40th game. We've already used 40, a quarter of the season in.
And what makes it even more mind-boggling was the fact, like you said, they're one game out of first place with a winning record. I mean, a team that usually goes through something like that is, 8, 10 games under.
Rivera out on strikes. That 96-mile-per-hour fastball up and into him. 2 outs, and Erasmo Ramirez will bat. He's 0 for 6 in his career, and then he gets to face a guy who throws 96.
And seemed to be pretty happy about it. Although you very rarely see him with anything but a smile. Him and David DeJesus running neck and neck for most on the season.
1-1. That fastball to Ramirez at 96 must seem like about the size of an M&M. Cut and the miss. Now 1-2. And a cut and a miss. He's out on strikes. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 1-0 Rays. Checkers. Get Checkers Authentic Philly Cheesesteak or try the new Meatball Sub. Pick yours, 2 for $5. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Courtesy Toyota, you'll love what we do for you. Well, the Rays get their first look at Nick Markakis in an Atlanta Braves uniform after seeing him all those years playing for the Baltimore Orioles. Markakis hitting cleanup for Atlanta.
Yeah, different spot. You see him with Baltimore. At his best, he was hitting leadoff. And now here in the run-producing position.
Rivera, a quick trip to the mound here to chat with Ramirez after he falls behind Markakis.
Just 2 pitches. So obviously Rene Rivera saw something with Erasmo Ramirez and his mechanics, trying to make a quick fix.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we notice all the time about Rivera. He is quick on the draw when it comes to working with his pitchers out there.
Well, you know that comes with the blessing of Jim Hickey and Kevin Cash. He's out there working with these guys. He knows their mechanics as good as anybody. It's at least directional, coming right at you. And so if he sees a little something off, he's got that green light to head out.
That's a strike. 3-1.
And that helps a lot because it helps the pitcher. It keeps Jim Hickey in the dugout. He doesn't have to make an early visit.
Yeah, and if he's that quick to notice things like that, 2 pitches, a trip to the mound, it prevents something from getting out of hand way before. You know, if he goes 3-0, if he walks the guy, then you go out, well, damage is done. He walks him here, and the leadoff man is on.
Well, you're trying to prevent the game from speeding up on somebody. And he went out there quick. It looked like Erasmo was going to make a recovery, but he ended up with the leadoff walk, things that you want to avoid.
Yeah, you try to keep that leadoff man off the bases. And that's what Rivera was thinking when he went out there as quickly as he did. But a walk, and here is Todd Cunningham. And he takes the pitch down.
And all Todd Cunningham has done is, how about that? He's been up for 3 games, 8 out of 12.
Yeah, it was recalled on the 15th. He has great speed. They say he can fly. Into the corner. That's a fair ball. Markakis will go to third. And now they're going to wave him around. And now a stop. Well, Bo Porter had put up the stop sign and then wanted him to go. And by that time, he had shut it down.
Well, and you know what? Bo Porter was right the second time. He should have been going. Nick Markakis had a full head of steam. He read this properly, knowing that Souza Jr. is not going to be close to it anytime soon. And he could have scored him here. But you're right. The initial stop sign, Nick Markakis picks him up, shuts it down, and not going to pick it back up at that point.
A double into the right field corner. And now the Braves, who've been so good with men in scoring position, have 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out for A.J. Pierzynski.
America's catcher.
He is a thorn in the side of anybody he plays against. Fouls this one back, strike 1. And he's 9 out of 20 with men in scoring position. Out of play, 0-2. The Braves hitting .260 overall, .299 with men in scoring position.
Well, and they've taken up their runs per game almost a full run over last year's pace because of that stat.
And he's hit by the pitch. That's another thing he's famous for.
Now, you're down in the count, 0-2. You've got the body armor going up the right arm. And he took this one like a champ on purpose. Knows it's coming in, just kind of lean that elbow down, know that it's protected. You make a guy go away with the body armor, not so apt to do something like that. May not be able to throw for a month.
So the bases are loaded. Again, he's a thorn in your side if you play against him. And here's Simmons, the shortstop. That's a strike. Simmons hitting .264. Premier shortstop. And a big contact guy. 0-2.
Well, you could see it in that swing. The way he just kind of lengthened that thing out there trying to put the ball in play. That's something that this Atlanta Brave team across the board has done a great job of. And there's that number you mentioned.
With all the contact he makes, he's also double play prone. He's grounded into 12. 2 strikes the count. And he takes a close pitch wide. 1-2.
And that's Erasmo Ramirez. You know, you think about the slider of Chris Archer, the depth it gets. Ramirez more of a sweeping type action. He'll take that thing all the way across the plate.
I
think the book on Andrelton Simmons, as far as Erasmo Ramirez goes, is a lot of sliders. It's been one after the other.
Two. And again he goes wide.
And I think that was the changeup, and he yanked it. Now, he loves his changeup to both righties and lefties, especially when you're talking about in that 2-strike position. And he went away from the slider, yanked the changeup. He needs a strike here. I don't care what it's with.
Lines it foul, out of play. So we'll see another one. What the Rays would love to see is a ground ball right back to the mound. Foul ball straight back over the screen, a fastball.
I love your aggressiveness tonight. I mean, forget just the ground ball for the double play, but you're getting position specific, and I like that.
It's trying to get out of the inning with no runs being scored. You get a double play. Got a strikeout guy next. Maben on deck, although he's been battling that. And that pitch misses. And that will force home a run.
He babied a slider. He's trying to throw a strike slider, and after the 2 previous that he threw earlier in the at-bat that he yanked off the plate, he kind of babied that to get it in there for a strike, and he didn't get it to break enough. That's the problem. When you start to try to take off velocity with slowing down your arm speed, which isn't going to do what you want it to.
So it's a visit from Jim Hickey. And now here's Maben. Bases are still loaded in a tie game.
Well, the one benefit you have here, too, is you've got Fultonavich on deck, pitcher hitting in this kind of a situation. Make your pitches on Maben, and then you get the opportunity to go after the pitcher.
Maben comes out swinging at a fastball and fouls it. Bases loaded. Cunningham third, Brzezinski second, Simmons at first. Ground ball through the right side. Cunningham scores. Brzezinski stops at third. It's 2-1.
Maben, a ball that's up and away from him, and he can see the room on the right side. He just pokes it right through that hole, and everybody up 90 feet. Now here comes the throw. Now look, this throw gets through all the way to Rene Rivera, and you could see Erasmo Ramirez not backing that play up. That is a no-no.
Now the pitcher, Foltynewicz, takes a big cut and misses. Here's what you're talking about here.
You know, it eludes James Loney, and it comes in hot to Rivera. Now, he's very good, but this is where Erasmo Ramirez is. He's not even paying attention. And now, now you realize, uh-oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
Cut the miss. Breaking ball. 0-2.
One more slider to Foltynewicz, and you're one out closer to getting out of this jam.
He's out on strikes.
Oh, that burns you up as a pitcher. You go up there, and granted, it's a big situation, but to get 3 straight sliders, you just don't have a prayer.
That's Jace Peterson, who opened the first with a fly ball to left. Braves got him from the Padres, and they like his makeup. He played football at McNeese State and has carried some of that mentality onto the baseball field. Out front, strike one. Well, the first time through the order now, Ramirez has had 3-3-2 counts. The first one was to Peterson. 2 in this inning.
He's getting away from the little things that have made him successful recently over his last 19 plus innings.
Pop foul. 1-2.
He got away with a pitch there that was out over the plate that Peterson had a pretty good swing at. Probably wishes he could see again. What that's done is gotten him into a good count now, 1-2. Try to get Peterson here to chase. This is where the put away wipeout changeup comes into play.
Way wide. 2-2.
And he has not shown command of that pitch. A couple of them he's actually cut a little bit. That one way up and away.
Little tapper. He's going to have to take the out at first. Loney steps on the bag. Not hit hard enough to come to the plate. And the Braves get their 3rd run of the inning. Run batted in for Peterson, his 16th.
Just down, that ball down below the zone, and the chopping action, even though it was Brzezinski running, it just takes all the steam off the ground ball, and James Loney has no play.
Well, here is Pedro Siriaco. He goes for it, pops it into shallow center. Here comes Kiermaier on the run to retire the side. 8 men come to the plate, 3 runs score, 3-1 Atlanta. Toyota trends. The Rays coming off Sunday's explosion in Minnesota with 11 runs and 19 hits.
One of those numbers with runners in scoring position. That was a long time coming.
Kiermaier goes after the first pitch in the third and skies it to center. Maben makes the catch. One gone.
How about out of those 19 hits, 15 were singles?
Yeah, no home runs in that outburst, but plenty of offense nevertheless. Steven Souza Jr. Rays had 10 hits with men in scoring position in their previous 5 games combined, and did it in one afternoon.
Well, the one thing that stood out was the overall approach of the lineup all day long. I mean, up the middle, the other way, everybody was doing it.
Souza picked up the run batted in with a single in the first. His 16th run batted in. Lines it into center. There's a base hit off a fastball. That one came in at 96, and Souza returns it to center field. He's 2 for 2.
Boy, everything with Souza Jr. is quick twitch. I mean, he can let it fly in a hurry. How aggressive he is on the base paths, the movements in the outfield, everything. And you're right, 96 down and away, and he's still able to get full extension and go right back up the middle. That's usually a pretty safe spot for a guy with a upper 90s mile-an-hour fastball.
There goes Souza. The pitch is down. The throw is late. And a stolen base. That's number 6 for Souza.
And 6 off Fultenovich. Slider down a while to get out of the glove of Pierzynski. And Souza easy. Got it with 2 legs.
Side. Now it's Pierzynski headed to the mound. Souza had bluffed a little start off second, trying to be a distraction to the 23-year-old right-hander.
Well, there's been a lot of activity on the base paths with him on the mound.
Picks up the zone. Fultenovich was in 16 games last year in the big leagues with Houston, all out of the bullpen. Worked just under 19 innings total. Now a move to second and back in. Souza with that hand extended got it in before the tag by Peterson.
Well, watch Fultenovich on this spin. Watch where he's stepping. Throwing all the way across his body. Remember the last one hit Souza Jr. right in the middle of the back. This throw on the money.
Ground ball headed toward the middle. Throw into center. Here comes Souza. The Rays will have their second run. Evan Longoria driving home Steven Souza Jr. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, old-time baseball there. Base hit, steal second, grounder up the middle, and there's your run. We watch the middle infielders for the Braves, too, as they try to keep this ball in the infield. Simmons given great effort. Then he had to immediately pop to his feet and peel back towards second base to keep Evan Longoria over at first.
There's James Loney. Loney dropped a base hit into left in the first inning. strike. Longoria, the base runner. Rays playing in Atlanta for the first time since 2010. As they return to Turner Field. Rays through the years in interleague play have gone 3-6 here. Off the plate end this time. Rays with 2 runs on 5 hits. Atlanta with 3 runs on 2 hits.
Well, both of these pitchers trying to settle in, and at this point it's been a mixed bag. Some command issues, some good counts for the hitters.
Count holding at 1-2. Well, Loney now 10 of his last 20 with the base hit his first time up. He had 4 hits in the game on Sunday.
Tell you what, you better have your head on a swivel when Fultonavich throws a ball to the bag. Whether it's out at second base, over at first, his fastball to the bags are as hard as they are to home plate. He takes nothing off of it.
Another foul out of play. Well, he's keeping an eye on Longoria. He's made 3 tosses over there.
And Evan Longoria doesn't jump out as, you know, he's an opportunistic base stealer every now and then, but it's been the fact that he has been victimized 6 times already. He's just in his 4th start with the Braves this year.
A little roller to the left side. Siriaco goes to second. Not in time at first.
They called him out at second, too.
And let's see, Kevin comes out of the dugout. He might want them to take a look.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I mean, he was absolutely in there. This ball hits slowly. You see the secondary lead of Evan Longoria gives him a good head start. Boy, it certainly looks like he's popping up off the bag. And has beat the throw, but was called out.
You see, Siriaco took him a little time to get the handle on that.
And he's going to take a look at it for sure. Boy, it looked in real time like Evan had beat the throw. So we'll see.
So the Rays will challenge the call.
And if it doesn't get clearer than that, I don't know if you're going to get clear and convincing.
Yeah, and that's the part of this whole experience that Kevin had a little difficulty with. He didn't like that proviso in the challenge rules. The Rays got out to that slow start challenging plays.
And it's got to be cut and dry on the video, or as we've seen, the call on the field will stand.
Will Little made the call on the left side of your screen. It's Jerry Davis, the crew chief, with the headset on. And I've been waiting to see if he'll be back out at second base or not.
I don't like the Rays' chances based on the looks that we've seen. I hope I'm wrong.
say it appears that they're close to getting word on the outcome of this one. The Rays have overturned 2.
A little bit.
14 challenges. Here's another look.
Oh, here's a good shot of it.
Well, based on that.
But you just don't see the foot on the bag, and that's where the clear and convincing burns the Rays. Circumstantial, you say, yeah, he's there, but they need to see it. I don't know if we've had a look yet where you can definitively see it.
Well, because of the lack of depth perception, you don't know exactly where the foot was. It took a long time for that throw to get down there, and you could project him being safe. Whether they're going to call him safe or not, we'll see. Well, out the call. So the Rays do not prevail. And the call stands, not confirmed, but stands for lack of evidence. Clear and convincing evidence is what they needed. So 2 outs with Loney at first. And here is Logan Forsythe. Logan hit by a pitch. And now up to second goes Loney, and that'll put a man back into scoring position for the Rays.
Fultonavich just got around a slider. That thing just spun up there. Logan Forsythe just takes it 90 feet, move up, and now David DeJesus been very good with runners in scoring position. Gets the shot here.
Well, he had another good at bat before he grounded out in the first inning. 9-pitch at bat, and so he takes another look at the hard-throwing right-hander here in the third. 2 men on with 2 men out, and it's popped into short left field for Cunningham, who makes the catch to retire the side. Rays get a run back. They trailed 3-2. Your new Majestic Cool Base jersey. It has moisture wicking and breathable stretch fabric, so you can always keep your cool in the stands. Check it out at the Rays downtown Tampa store or the Majestic Clubhouse team store at Tropicana Field. Freddie Freeman leading off the inning for Atlanta. 1-0 the count. Foul ball takes the count to 1-1. Markakis next, and then Cunningham. Liner, and it's caught by Forsythe. Second time that Logan has handled a ball off the bat of Freeman. This time he had to time that leap perfectly. A little hang time there for Logan Forsythe.
Well, and you can see the frustration all over Freddie Freeman. You see where Forsythe is. Well, 7-8 years ago, he's 2 for 2. 2015 and 0 for. There's that hang time. Listen, NBA playoffs in full swing.
Markakis takes it inside.
Boy, showing off the skills.
And boy, that's just another example of the great start Logan Forsythe has had. And the ability to play every day, the opportunity to play every day, really allows him, and really anybody with that kind of ability, gives him a great opportunity to realize the ability that they possess. Shot deep into right center field off Markakis' bat, and right there is Kiermaier to make the catch. Over the shoulder, headed straight to the wall. And a little congratulations from Sousa Jr. on that grab by Kiermaier.
That may be the best of the year, when you had to see how far he had to go and how well struck this ball is by Markakis. Watch him go over in actual left center field. Really change of direction at the very end, adjustment to the route. Like a wide receiver. Now we're 2 feet in. And no jump at the end. He had to haul to get there.
Yeah, no time for the jump after that little veer. But you're right. What a great catch. And the ground he covered, that ball off the bat appeared to be a cinch 2-base hit, maybe more, depending. Great catch by Kiermaier.
And the only reason you think maybe not is because, you know, Kevin Kiermaier has elite speed, and he's able to get to high-end, top-notch speed very quickly.
3-1 the count to Cunningham, who has arrived in Atlanta red hot. He replaced Kelly Johnson, who had to go to the disabled list. There's a chopper, third. Longoria backs up and makes the throw. It's a 1-2-3 inning in the third. We're headed into the fourth, and it's 3-2 Atlanta. In the game tonight and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Get a look at his Asdrubal Cabrera. He's going to lead it off in the 4th against Mike Foltynewicz, 23-year-old right-hander out of Sterling, Illinois. Cabrera bounced out to first, his first time up. Rays have left 4 men on base through the first 3 innings and scored 2 runs. One strike the count. Rays are going to see 2 of the young pitchers on this Atlanta ball club. Williams Perez will pitch tomorrow night. 1-1. Jake Odorizzi set to go to work for the Rays tomorrow in the wrap-up game of the series and the road trip. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Don't miss tomorrow's Wednesday night showdown. It will be presented by Mazda. Odorizzi goes for his 4th win of the year. And again, it will be Williams Perez making his first start of the year for Atlanta. He's worked some out of the bullpen. High shot deep to right. That one is gone. No doubt off the bat of Cabrera, his 2nd home run of the year, and the game is tied at 3. That ball, a shot off the bat of Cabrera.
And for Foltynewicz, it has been too many pitches out over the plate that have come back to haunt him. He himself has acknowledged that. And in a 2-strike count, boy, oh boy, belt middle, and no doubt about it, Markakis, I don't think, got out of his stance. Well, he did, but that's about it.
A long blast. Certainly one of the longer ones you'll see here to right field.
Yeah, if you get up to the first walkway, that is deep. You cross over that first walkway, it's mammoth, and that was real close.
1-1 to Rivera, big cut and a miss. Now he's behind in the count.
That area that ball ended up in, that is deep when you get the perspective from home plate.
Rivera's out on strikes. Here's the ball off the bat. Home run number 2. First one came at the Trop in the series with the Texas Rangers. Ramirez waves and misses.
Ramirez looking to give himself the lead.
Well, he saw what happened with Cabrera up there. Might as well swing the bat.
Time it up and let it go. You never know.
One and 2. That's a strike on the outside part of the plate. So a couple strikeouts following the home run. The Yankees have scored 4 in the 4th on the Nationals. That's 4-2 New York now. And here's Kiermaier. He bunts, foul.
Boy, if that's something that he can start to incorporate into his game with that ability, we talked earlier about how he gets to top speed so quickly. It doesn't even have to be a great bunt, just be a good bunt, and he's going to be able to eat up a lot of hits.
Upstairs. Yeah, there's no running start for Kiermaier. It's instant.
It really is. There are certain guys that you just enjoy watching them run. And you used to love to watch Tony Womack hit a ball in the gap and leg out a triple. Love to watch Kevin Kiermaier run the bases, take the routes in the outfield. They just glide.
Sends one to center. Maben is there waiting. Rays tie this game on the home run off the bat of Asdrubal Cabrera. We're headed into the bottom of the fourth. It's 3-3.
Hasn't been in the lineup yet, but I was just talking with his dad here in the stands. Dwayne B.A., listen to this story. His dad said he was texting Tim before the game and said, "Son, we've been driving by this field for 4 years, 3 to 4 days every week for 4 years from Griffin to Marietta where he played ball." He said, "Son, today we get to stop. You're the man, and you have a great opportunity to play. Go get him tonight." He said, "You're right, Dad. It's been quite a journey." Dwayne.
All right, thank you very much. That's his dad right there in the white shirt. Proud to have his son Tim in the major leagues and essentially coming back to his hometown with the Rays. Well, it's always a thrill for a player, as you know. But, B.A., you know what it's like for the family as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can imagine what everybody's going through, Tim included, getting a chance to come back home to the team that more than likely you grew up rooting for, and now you're a big leaguer in that stadium. It is a surreal moment, probably even more so for the family than it is for Tim Beckham, because of that story that Emily just told about the driving by, and all of a sudden, wow, now we stop, and you're a player. Fantastic.
Well, his dad, Jimmy, heading up a group of over 30 out here for this game and the homecoming of Tim Beckham. Brzezinski out on strikes. Now it's Simmons up there. Short center. Kiermaier is there. And that's the second out. It's a festive occasion in that section down there where the Beckhams are, and it should be.
A block of 30 altogether? Oh, wait till he gets in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Wait until he gets in the game. They're going to go crazy. And listen, I think that smart move by Kevin Cash not starting him this game, because the odds are if you come off the bench for the Rays.
Oh, yeah, well.
That's where all the hits are.
They're hitting 400.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the bench leads the team in RBIs. And we're not talking about Johnny bench. We're talking about the Rays bench.
Well, they're swinging it like Johnny.
What do they have? 22 RBIs?
22. You know who the next closest team is? Cleveland Indians with 9 in the American League.
Wow. That pitch hits Maben. 1-1 pitch, and Maben heads to first. Second batter, Ramirez, is hit tonight.
And this is the one that you don't like for the simple reason that you want Fultonavich to be leading off next inning. If he still is in the game, you want that 9-hole, and no reason to think that he won't be. You want him leading off next inning, not coming up to bat now.
Yeah, that's really a big part of the strategy in the National League. Try to situate it so that the pitcher has to lead off the next inning. Not going to happen now. Pitch is a strike to Fultonavich. One and one. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. Man left on in the 4th inning. We go to the 5th. Steven Souza Jr., who's 2 for 2 tonight, will lead off the 5th for the Rays. Great moment in Rays history presented by Geico, and it was on this day when Aubrey Huff belted a 10th inning walk-off home run for the Devil Rays as they defeated their Citrus Series rivals, the Florida Marlins, 5-4.
Looks like he's taking a beating too in the middle of that pile.
Yeah, Toby Hall in there. Travis Lee in there too in that scrum.
A Johnny Gomes sighting.
Yes.
We may get
he
one
led
of those
the charge.
here. When doesn't he?
Absolutely. Wherever he is, he has, number one, a great impact. And frankly, the Braves are happy to have him. And that's a big reason they want him here. Souza fouls it back. Strike one. We mentioned the new faces here in Atlanta. his veteran presence, but also something of an implied enforcer in the clubhouse in terms of effort, with the young players being filtered in here.
You know, intensity, aggressiveness, and playing the game correctly.
Yep. And
holding people accountable.
That's a big part of it. Sousa out on strikes. Well, a big turnover, and you can see left to right Justin Upton. So they had a lot of home runs go to the West Coast. Melvin Upton Jr. still with that left foot, and the Padres trying to get him back. Kimbrel at the end of games with that ERA in the mid-5s right then. 1 strike to count on Evan Longoria. That's a strike, and Evan Gattis also could join that group of 4. Impact players who are gone. Cut the miss, and Longoria is out on strikes. Foltynewicz, who had 4 strikeouts coming into this inning, getting Rivera, the number 8 hitter, twice and Ramirez twice, but here in the 5th he has struck out Sousa Jr. and Longoria.
Well, how about the breaking ball there? And Evan realized halfway through the swing that this was not going to go very well. Late break.
There's James Loney. Loney 1 for 2. Ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Mid-90s fastball for a strike. 2 and 1. Well, the Yankees have added 2 in the 5th. They now lead the Nationals 6-2 in the top of the 5th in Washington. (3-1) now on James Loney. Logan Forsythe would be next.
This may be one of those situations that we see James Loney turn it loose.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he'll pick his spots. This could be one of them.
And he draws the walk.
It's amazing how quickly his mind registers ball and how disciplined he stays. 3-1. You know you're getting the heater, and you know you want to turn it loose. You get the heater. It's not that far off the plate, but yet he doesn't even flinch.
You know, we so often talk about pitches that are not a strike from the time they leave the pitcher's hands. Not all hitters can pick that up. He picks it up immediately.
On the borderline ones. You know, I mean, a ball comes out low, it's not going to rise, so you know it's going to.
To the backstop there on a wild pitch.
I mean, wild pitch. Hey-oh. Well, Przinsky heading out now to talk to his young starter after walking Loney. How about that yank piece in the mid-90s?
How about this Carroll? And a barehanded pick by Przinsky, but I'm just telling the young right-hander that he's too old to reach that far across his body.
Or something very similar.
It's something to do with somebody's body.
How about this battery, though? Foltynewicz and Przinsky. Can I imagine the word scramble you could do with these two guys?
How many words could you make out of those two names combined?
I guarantee you more than I could come up with.
Now it's 3-0. Well, here's the thing with a young pitcher like Foltynewicz that the Braves are going to have to go through as they try to develop him. He comes out, gets ahead of Souza Jr. and Longoria, and dispatches them 1-2. Longoria out on 3 pitches. Then the walk to Loney, a wild pitch. It's 3-0 now, and there's a strike to Forsythe.
That's what is mind-boggling and frustrating with a young power arm. They'll come out, like you just said, and then the wheels start to get wobbly, like immediately, out of nowhere.
Line past Siriaco into left, and here comes Loney to the plate. Cunningham falls down. The Rays get the run and take the lead.
Boy, that's what will drive you crazy as a pitching coach and a manager. Just what we talked about. And then 3-1, it's going to end up costing them at least 1 run. Forsythe rips one to left. Cunningham would have had a shot here, but he absolutely gets sniped. Right here. There's the crack.
So Loney scores the go-ahead run. Roger McDowell to the mound. And Forsythe with RBI number 18. Reminder, Sunday's Family Fun Day at the Trop. The Rays host the Athletics. And after the game, singer-songwriter Cody Simpson performs his top hits. All fans will have access to the field for the concert at no extra cost. Call 888-FAN-RAIS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Raise up.
And do it now. And get those tickets now, because you look at that photo right there. He looks sad. So go support him.
Here's David DeJesus. Forsythe back in at first. It's good to see you care so much.
Well, I mean, look at him. He had his guitar. He's walking down what looked to be a really nice road, head kind of down. Just look a little down in the dumps.
A little pensive.
All the more reason for the good fans of the Tampa, St. Pete area to come out to support him. And the team.
Yeah. We got Oakland coming in, then Seattle.
My phone's ringing, Dwayne. You're going to have to excuse me for a minute.
Go ahead. Take as much time as you need. One strike to count to DeJesus, and another move to first. Forsythe is back in. Two outs into the 5th. Soft pitch is in there, and it puts DeJesus down 0-2. Now a ball and 2 strikes.
Testing the limits of that strike zone with that fastball. And you see pitch number 2 called a strike. Take a little further out.
And that's an area where Tony Randazzo will give a pitcher to a left-handed hitter. He'll give that pitch off the plate sometimes. Fly ball center. May have been going back. That's going to be over his head. Will one hop the wall. Forsythe with a full head of steam is going to score standing. And the Rays now have a 2-run lead on a double off the bat of DeJesus that just would not stop carrying out there in left center field. It's 5-3.
David DeJesus looking for something out over the plate. And he got it. And boy, did he put a charge into it. He stayed back very well on that back leg and really drove that ball out there. And that's what allowed it to get over the head of Maben. And now, boy, after those first 2 quick strikeouts by Foltynewicz, all of a sudden the wheels get wobbly, and now looking to come off.
Well, it appeared that the Rays had no chance when he disposed of Souza Jr. and Longoria in such short order. Cabrera, who belted that big home run to right field, a tremendous blast off the Rays shortstop's bat. He's up here now with DeJesus in scoring position. 2-run inning after 2 men had been retired. And a chance for another run. 1-1. Action in the bullpen. Trevor Cahill down there. Two and one. Cut and a miss. Xavier Cedeno is now up in the Rays bullpen. Ramirez has gone through the Atlanta lineup twice now. And there's ball 3 to Cabrera. Now it's second to Jesus. And a cut and a miss. Breaking ball. 3-2, and Cabrera's out on strikes. Rays score 2 and take a 5-3 lead. Of inning 5 in Atlanta. Sunday is Family Fun Day at the Trop. The Rays host the Oakland Athletics, and kids 14 and under receive a Rays camo tank top while supplies last. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Top of the batting order up for Atlanta, Chase Peterson. This pitch is a ball. Erasmo Ramirez, through 4 innings, had made 67 pitches, and he starts the 3rd time through the order. Two and 0. Siriaco next, and then Freeman. Two balls and a strike. Two and two. And strike three called. Peterson caught looking. So one away in the bottom of the fifth inning. Let's check in with Emily.
David DeJesus has hit .432 in the last 12 games. Before the game, I asked him if he's doing anything differently at the plate. He said nothing. He said nothing has changed. He thinks that maybe the pitcher is just maybe paying attention more because there's runners on base for the Rays a lot more often lately. Or he said his confidence is up there. After his son was born, he went on a nice streak. And he thought it was daddy strength. So I'll let you guys weigh the options if it's just the pitcher being a little distracted or if daddy strength is back. He said, "Watch out, Kim," which is his wife.
No doubt an effective combination right there.
I'm going to go, I'm going to lean towards daddy strength with just a pinch of going the other way.
And working the count as he always does. He's never an easy out up there. Even when he's not as hot as he's been recently, he's still a battling at bat for a pitcher.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know he's not going to take an AB off and that you're going to have to work to get him. And you may absolutely get him, but it's not going to come easy.
Here's that double to left center in the top of the inning.
With two strikes. With two strikes, a mistake, and guess what? Left center field. I'm telling you, he's been wearing out that side of the diamond.
Chop right side. Ramirez will have to cover, and he's there. Loney had to range far to his right after that one.
Well, I love the way that James Loney, comfortable throwing from just about every position like a quarterback. And he's got to hit a moving target in Erasmo Ramirez covering first base.
There aren't many first basemen who can make this play seem as routine as it turned out to be.
Right. And that looks like a piece of cake until you get out there in real time and do it. How many times you see guys throw behind the pitcher? The pitcher's got to wait on the throw.
Now the pitch, and Freeman hits a long one but foul. Strike one. Freeman with a couple of line outs into the shift. Tried to hit it over the shift that time. And he's headed out of play.
It's going to try left field.
The Rays got 5 innings out of Ramirez and 68 pitches. His last time out on the 14th, that was against the Yankees in a 6-2 win. He's 1 out away from 5 innings in this one. And he strikes out the big first baseman, Freddie Freeman, with a fastball through 5. The Rays lead 5-3. 5 runs for the Rays. Steven Souza opened the scoring with his RBI single in the first.
Well, and then they just continue to keep the pressure on as the Rays had Longoria going back up the hill. That was after a stolen base by Souza Jr. Then Cabrera with this mammoth shot in the 4th inning, keeping the pressure on Fultonevich. Another one here, and this was the inning really that came apart for him, where he got the first 2 guys with strikeouts, and then all of a sudden the Rays come alive. Walk, couple of hits, David DeJesus, and the Rays able to take a 2-run lead now as we head into the 6th.
And they'll be seeing a new pitcher here. Trevor Cahill takes over. And Rene Rivera looks at a fastball too high. Ramirez due next as Cahill's on for his 9th appearance and the 6th out of the bullpen. 1-1. Ramirez due to hit, but Tim Beckham has a bat and has emerged from the dugout to the on-deck circle. Little tapper back toward the hill, and the toss to Rivera. And now Tim Beckham will make his way to the plate to pinch hit for Ramirez.
We know the section that's very excited right now.
Well, Beckham, with his family and friends of 30 here tonight, and he hits a ground ball, breaks his bat, and Siriaco at third base throws him out. So Beckham went after the first pitch and is out 3rd to 1st. They'd waited a long time to see him. The number 1 pick. In fact, he was the first overall number 1 pick out of the state of Georgia since Mike Ivey in 1970. And the Rays drafted him first in 2008. Ground ball off the bat of Kiermaier. He's thrown out. 3 ground balls by Cahill, and the Rays are up and down in order in the 6th. 5-3 Rays. Bottom of the 6th, and Erasmo Ramirez gave the Rays 5 good innings tonight.
Well, he absolutely did. You know, a little bit of a stumble in the 2nd inning, but he responded after that. And I'll tell you, he finished his last 3 innings of work. He faced 1 over the minimum, had a hit batter, hit Maben, in the 4th inning. But outside of that, he ended up tidying up that outing, and the Rays were able to take the lead during his outing. So he stands in line right now to pick up a win if the bullpen can lock this thing down. And Xavier Cedeno will come on for the 10th time, the first man up to try and do just that. He has been very impressive in his tenure with the Rays. 6 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, couple of walks, opponent's average at .217, but he has done everything that the Rays have asked of him.
So Cedeno's on to face the left-handed bat of Nick Markakis beginning the bottom of the 6th. Markakis walked and scored in the 3-run 2nd. And the pitch is high. Cedeno pitched an inning Sunday. One and one. Pitched against Minnesota, had a 1-2-3 inning, picked up a strikeout. 2-1.
Well, it's the ability to move the fastball around the zone, but then that sweeping breaking ball, he stays closed mechanically, so he's not exposing his hand and allowing the hitters a good look at that pitch, any pitch for that matter. Stays closed and surprises them.
Markakis ahead in the count. 3-1. Todd Cunningham, who's arrived and has been red hot, is on deck. The left-handed bat of the veteran A.J. Pierzynski follows him. That's a strike. Three balls, 2 strikes. Down to third, and a nice pick by Longoria, and a nice scoop on the other end by Loney. That takes care of Markakis.
Boy, on the fly there, I thought you were going to go with pick twice. Nice pick by Longoria, nice pick by James Loney. And that's absolutely right. I'll tell you, Evan Longoria had no time to think here. As Markakis goes the other way, he's got to go to his knees on a backhand. And watch how quickly he gets rid of this. And there's Loney on the other end with that scoop.
And here is Todd Cunningham. Strike one. Boy, Cedeno has been so consistent out there for the Rays. He's been a nice addition. Longoria settling under this pop-up. 2 outs. Wrap-up game of the road trip tomorrow night. Here's what's coming up on Rays Live tomorrow. The pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll hear from Jake Odorizzi. He'll be the starting pitcher. And tomorrow is another Webb Wednesday. Well, they seem to roll around every week.
They do.
Just keep coming.
It's documented.
Here's A.J. Pierzynski. A ball, no strikes. Fly ball to right. Souza back, and that ball got the better of him over his head. Pierzynski's on his way to second, and he's in there standing. Souza got turned around a little bit out there at right field.
Yes, he did, and he was running constantly at an angle, trying to time this line drive up, and kept carrying. We saw that off the bat of David DeJesus, the ball carrying well, He gets kind of turned. That's an odd angle to be running at and trying to make a play at the same time. And burns him up against the wall, and the Braves have a 2-out threat.
Well, Simmons is due up. Kevin Cash out of the dugout. And the Rays are going to make a pitching change here. Cedeno retires too, leaves with a man on. Back in a moment. Game-worn opening day jersey. Now through Sunday the 24th, the Rays are auctioning off game-worn opening day jerseys with proceeds benefiting the Rays Baseball Foundation. Visit RaysBaseball.com/auction to place your bid. Brandon Gomes, the new Rays pitcher, with Andrelton Simmons due up. He has walked and has hit a fly ball to center as Gomes is on for the 13th time. The walk for Simmons in the second inning came with the bases loaded, giving him his 17th run batted in. Gomes inherits Brzezinski out at second base. Gomes worked Friday in the opening game of the series in Minnesota. Pitched one inning. A pop-up. Longoria into foul territory. That retires the side. We head into the seventh inning. 5-3 Rays. look at the breakdown here of the Rays with Evan Longoria when he's in there.
Well, how often have we said Evan Longoria is going to have to lead this team, lead this offense if they want to get where they play in October baseball? And I don't know. Can't go much further than those numbers right there.
And tonight, he has a hit and a run batted in. He'll hit second in the 7th. Souza Jr. And the first pitch is a strike. Souza is 2 for 3 tonight. And he's out on 3 pitches. Cahill came out, got 3 ground ball outs in the 6th, and now a strikeout to open this inning. Foltynewicz started. The Rays got 5 off him, 8 hits in 5 innings. Here's a ball. Fly ball deep to right, but Markakis will have room on the track. 2 outs. We get James Loney to the plate. Ground ball down to third. Siriaco comes up and makes the throw. Another 1-2-3 inning for Cahill, 6 in a row. The Rays lead 5-3. Kevin Kiermaier in center, and their defensive work has been on display. This running catch by Kiermaier, our H.H. Gregg defensive plays of the night.
And Evan Longoria on the other end in the infield, just the 2 that you would expect to be leading the way defensively, getting it done here for the Rays tonight.
see, just 15 errors. They share the fewest errors in the American League with the Detroit Tigers. You put good pitching out there and support it with good, solid defense, and that's what the Rays have done. And they're within a game of first in the American League East. And the Washington Nationals have just tied the Yankees, by the way, in the bottom of the 6th, as Kevin Jepsen takes over on the hill in the bottom of the 7th for the Rays. His first pitch to Cameron Maybin inside. Ramirez for 5, Cedeno 2/3, Gomes a 1/3, and now Maybin. And there at the knees, 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Maybin, originally a first-round pick by the Tigers. He was with the Marlins for a stretch. And then most recently San Diego before coming to the Braves in early April. And he's ahead in the count 3-1. It's been his goal to cut down on strikeouts. Strike, and it's 3-2. Kevin Seitzer's the hitting coach here for the Atlanta Braves. See Jake McGee up in the bullpen there for the Rays. Maybin takes, and that's ball 4 wide, so he walks to open the inning. Now, Callaspo will pinch hit. Alberto Callaspo is going to pinch hit for the pitcher, Cahill.
Boy, that look on Jim Hickey's face says it all. You want to avoid the late game leadoff walks down at the bottom of the order.
Pitch is a strike.
Look how close Callaspo is to the plate, hanging right over the inside edge.
It's 1-1.
And I'll tell you what, throughout his career as a switch hitter, he's been a lot better right-handed hitter than left-handed hitter, although this year just 1 out of 16 from the right side, and that's doing a better job left-handed, getting the opportunity here.
And he's always been a good contact man. Jepsen now 2-1 with him.
Well, he gets a good look at these pitches. You know, you see his setup. He's hanging right out over the plate. Going to try to stay short with the swing. Count in his favor.
And Jepsen is behind him, 3-1 after walking Maybin.
Okay. Kevin Jepsen, I'll tell you, when we saw him at the beginning of the year, he was automatic. He came out and he was just dialed in, getting outs at a quick pace. But these last few outings, it's been the lack of command that has been the most concerning. The stuff's still there. We still see the break on the curveball, the good velocity on the fastball. He's just not getting the pitches to the spots that he wants to.
Coming into this one, in his last 5 outings, he's walked 5 men, and he's given up a walk to Maybin here, and he's behind Callaspo. It walks to a guy who comes into high leverage situations late in games. Not a good thing. They are troubling.
No, when you bring those kind of guys in, typically, like you said, it's late and the game's close. Can't have the extra base runners.
Maybin back in. That's a strike. Callaspo ready to go to first. And Freddie Gonzalez not altogether happy with the call.
Now, typically when a guy is struggling with command, the borderline pitch he does not get. That ball down in the zone, right on the edge, and it goes Jepson's way.
Lifted into the left. De Jesus is there to catch it. And that's the first out. That's a big out, especially after the leadoff walk and then falling behind the pinch hitter.
And very easily could have been a walk to Callaspo. It could be first and second with nobody right now going back to the top of the order. But Jepson gets that borderline call and then records the out.
And the pitch to Peterson is a strike.
You'll take the strikes down there at the bottom of the zone. Kid me? Just live down there.
One and one. Rays grab the lead with 2 runs in the 5th. That's 2 balls and a strike. Erasmo Ramirez worked the front 5. Cedeno, Gomes, and now Jepson. And he is behind Peterson, 3-1. He's been behind all 3 hitters in this inning. Siriaco's on deck.
Been an absolute struggle to try to get that ball. And it's not like the misses are way off, just a little bit.
Popped into short left again. And De Jesus makes the catch for the 2nd out.
This is a prime example of where stuff wins. Kevin Jepson has put himself in really bad position for 3 straight hitters. Walks the first one and retires the next 2 on soft flies to left. Good velocity on the heater. The pitch is missed by the hitter.
Pedro Siriaco is grounded out, flied out, and grounded out again.
I think we're all done with the high wire act, though. How about just an 0-2 and put this thing away?
Snap throw to first. Runner back in. First pitch to Siriaco up. Driven the base runner. Cut and a miss. Hard stuff there and right by him at 94. Rays about hit Atlanta 8-3. They lead 5-3. Cut and a miss again. Hard stuff for the 2nd straight time.
Trying to make stuff win once again, and he's done it the last 2 pitches. Heavy dose of fastballs here by Kevin Jepson. get another one right here.
And he fouls this one back. It was the fastball. You can see everything up with something on it.
And we've seen him working down also. So this is obviously the plan here against Siriaco, unless all of a sudden now you come with that hard biting curveball. No.
And another foul on the fastball up.
You know, this is where, as a pitcher, you really have to believe in the game plan. Because throwing fastballs to the same area of the strike zone time and time and time again, you're saying, when's the adjustment going to be made? Or can he not? Is he not able to make that adjustment?
Well, he did not catch up on the first two swing and misses. Now he's fouled a couple away, so you figure he's making a little progress.
Yes, he is.
And there's that curveball, and he fouls that one.
And it wasn't a very sharp one. You know, curveball, a lot of times more of a field pitch than a slider. Although you could make the case for Kevin Jepsen that his curveball is almost a slider as hard as he throws it. But he has stayed with the hard stuff here in this inning. And I would imagine that you'll see another one up right here. Not going to probably go back to that curveball. Yes, they are.
Man on, 2 outs, 1-2 the count. And he got him. Foul tip strikeout. Went away with a fastball to strike him out. No runs, a walk, and a man left. Rays up by 2. Summary with the Rays up 5-3 as Rubel Cabrera hit what might have been the longest ball hit out so far to right field this year here in Atlanta for his second home run of the year. The Rays had scored in the first, the third, and then he got the home run to lead off the fourth inning. That tied the game, and the Rays put up 2 in the fifth. An RBI base hit by Logan Forsythe and then a double by David DeJesus. And we go into the 8th inning. The Rays will face the 24-year-old left-hander Luis Avilan on for his 20th appearance. And in the 8th, it'll be Logan Forsythe, the first Ray to face him. His first pitch is a fastball for a strike. That one in at 95. And he'll average 93 or so with that fastball and pop 95 on occasion. Upstairs, 1-1. Last year, an earned run average of over 4.5, and they say you struggle with command of the breaking ball a lot, but you can see he has a good arm.
Well, we've seen that 95-mile-an-hour fastball followed up by 2 changeups back-to-back at 82. You start to think of the possibilities of a guy that can throw in the mid-90s, have a good changeup, tighten up that breaking ball.
Off speed away, and it's 2-2. Saw Nick Massett out there in the bullpen. He just joined the Braves. Here's ball 3, missing with a fastball. Count is full. Brandon Guyer has emerged on deck. Cutting a miss. Forsythe out on strikes. So with one away in the 8th inning, let's check in with Emily Austin one more time. Emily?
You two are never going to believe it. I found myself another Budweiser deck. We want to remind all of you Rays fans to stay with us after the game for Rays Live post-game show presented by Checkers. We'll have Kevin Cash's post-game press conference. I'll be in the clubhouse for interviews. Orestes and Todd will be in the studio breaking down the game, and then we'll also check back in with you guys. Dwayne and B.A. in the booth. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Emily's drawing a crowd out there as well.
Yeah, she has. She has it. And it's Budweiser deck late in the game, and we know, we've got to get to the clubhouse.
Well, here's Guyer going after the first pitch and putting a charge into that one, but Cunningham out there by the 380 marker hauled it in. The Guyer pinch hitting wasn't wasting any time and came up just a little bit short there on a long drive. And speaking of long drives, our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Well, that was Asdrubal Cabrera back in the 4th inning. And here is that long drive.
That was with 2 strikes also. And that ball got driven with authority. Remember the reaction of Nick Markakis. There barely was one.
Pitch away as Cabrera hits from the right side this time. 2 outs in the 8th. Two and 0.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let Emily in to the Budweiser deck. Close to last call.
Late night crowd to draw. We're in the 8th. Hot shot liner down to 3rd. Caught by Siriaco. The Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Rays lead 5-3. 7 p.m. Eastern. It's the return of baseball night in America on Fox as the Orioles battle the Marlins. Coverage begins at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1. Brandon Guyer stays on to play left field. And Jake McGee will make his second appearance of the year. Jake worked in Sunday's game coming off the DL and was very impressive with 2 strikeouts. Looking like the Jake McGee of old.
Like he never left. And you're right. Everything the same. The velocity the same. The pitching style the same. The results the same.
He faces Freddie Freeman. And the pitch is a strike. Cut and a miss at 94-02.
Yeah, and the look of that pitch and the swing by Freeman set harder. And McGee, I'll tell you, the ball just absolutely jumps out of his hand.
And a cut and a miss. That one at 96. And he strikes out Freeman.
You know, and the thing that's so impressive about it is, what do you think these hitters are thinking when they go to the plate? They know they're getting the heater. They know they're getting a fastball that's not going to have much movement on it at all. Stays pretty true. And yet, most of the time, they can do nothing about it. Pretty impressive.
This is Nick Markakis. The pitch is a strike to him. So 4 straight strikes from McGee. See, Markakis has had success against Jake 4 out of 8 with a couple strikeouts. One and one. It's out of play. There's the count to 1-2. Johnny Gomes, former Ray, is on deck. He'll pinch hit next for Cunningham. Cut and a miss, tied him up with a fastball inside at 96. 2 up and 2 down.
Very quiet mechanics by Jake McGee before he unleashes that lightning bolt of a heater. Well, I'll tell you what, when you watch the ball come out of the hand, the recognition by Markakis, and when he finally starts his swing, you know he's already in big, big trouble. Did not get it started soon enough.
Now Johnny Gomes. Gomes in a Braves uniform after splitting last year between Boston and Oakland. One and all the count. Fouls it back. Gearing up for the fastball. 1-1. Gomes, as you know, up through the Rays system. Big part of the 08 season. Up and away. 2 balls and a strike. 35 with the Rays, 66 of his career home runs coming in a Rays uniform. Trying to catch up there, and he could not. It's 2-2. Gomes now has 158 career home runs in the big leagues. Fouled the fastball that was up, and he fouled it back.
Well, that's either going to tick Jake McGee off, that fastball up with that. It's one of his staples, and he may try to go up a little bit higher here, or you may see that deuce. Haven't seen it the entire inning. This would be the time if you were going to go to it after fastball up would be the time.
And the fastball, it's stroked into center, a base hit.
You know, and the only reason that you even think that way is because if Johnny Gomes was able to time up the elevated heater and get a piece of it, you either have to go up a little higher or go to something else. And Jake McGee doesn't often do that, and Johnny Gomes was making progress there. He got a fastball a little further down in the zone, and he was all over it. He gets it started a little sooner and goes right back up the middle. Shorten the swing. That's a great shot right there.
Here's A.J. Przinsky. He takes ball one. Przinsky's been on twice tonight. Chops it to the right side. Forsythe makes the play. Atlanta out in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Rays lead 5-3. Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. By Kubota. For more information or to find a participating dealer, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays in Atlanta tonight, first of a 2-game interleague set. And the Rays carry a 5-3 lead into the 9th inning. Johnny Gomes stays on to play left field after pinch hitting. And Nick Massett will be the new pitcher for Atlanta, their 4th of the night. Massett, 33 years old, agreed to terms with the Braves, and after making 8 appearances, 8 games with the Marlins this year, and a 1.86 ERA, now becomes a member of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, some interesting numbers there. You know, only 1 walk, had 6 strikeouts in his innings, 9 2/3 or so, but a 324 batting average against. Able to wiggle out of some jams, apparently.
Rene Rivera swings and he misses. Strike one.
Usually.
Two to Rivera. Now a ball, 2 strikes. Brad Boxberger up in the bullpen. Mick Franklin has moved on deck. It's a breaking ball, bounced foul. Still 1-2. New York batting in the top of the 8th in Washington in a tie game, 6-6 with the Nationals. Orioles have a 9-4 lead on the Mariners in the top of the 9th at Baltimore. Foul out of play. Boston playing at home against Texas. The Rangers batting in the top of the 8th. That's 4-2 Red Sox. Angels beat the Blue Jays 3-2 in Toronto. Two and two. Cut the miss, back to the breaking ball. And Rivera's out on strikes.
Boy, Massett took a little something off that one, and he not only was able to fool Rene Rivera with the pitch, but also the speed of the pitch. Bigger break, slower velocity.
Nick Franklin will bat for Jake McGee, who gave the Rays 1 inning, 1 hit, no runs, couple of strikeouts. Franklin takes it down. Rays starting the day a game back of New York in the AL East. Liner into right, and Markakis makes the catch. 2 gone. The Rays have been playing here, and we've been keeping an eye on that Yankees Nationals game in Washington. As we mentioned, tied 6-6 now at the bottom of the 8th. Washington in a similar situation with the Rays. They're trailing a New York team in the East. The Mets lead the National League East by 1 game over Washington. And the Yankees, of course, a game up in the AL East over the Rays. Breaking ball and a strike call to Kiermaier. Chop to the right side. Peterson at second base makes the play. A 1-2-3 ninth for Massett. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th with the Rays leading 5-3. The ninth inning, they got 5 innings from Erasmo Ramirez, and they turned it over to the bullpen. Brad Boxberger in trying to close it out.
Now the Rays bullpen, they got off to a slow start this season, and now are one of the best in the game of baseball. You see Kevin Jepson was walking a fine line, but he came out smelling like a rose. Jake McGee got his job done. Xavier Cedeno a part of that. Brandon Gomes on for a hitter. And so far 3 perfect innings, and looking for a 4th and going to the man who has been absolutely stellar for the Rays in closing games out. 10 out of 10 with an ERA of 1.29 in 15 games.
So here we go. Andrelton Simmons will lead off for Atlanta. Cameron Maben do next. And they go down to the 9th spot in the order. And the pitch is down. Simmons shortened on the bat. Simmons walked with the bases loaded in the 3-run second inning. That gave them their first run of the game. Otherwise 0 for 2. Into the screen, foul. Now 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Foul ball. Rivera to the screen. Will he have room? No. Count holds at a ball and 2 strikes. Rays with a 2-run lead in the 9th inning. Ground ball chopped toward the middle. Backhand pick. Throw to first, and what a play by Logan Forsythe. By the bag at second. That is out number 1, and a nifty play indeed by Forsythe.
We talk an awful lot about Logan Forsythe, what he's done offensively for the Rays with the increase in playing time. Well, guess what? It translates defensively, too. Showing good range there, backhanding that ball, throwing across the body on the run at an odd angle. He has been stellar defensively at a number of positions. Second base mainly. We've seen him at first. We've seen him over at third.
Now it's Maben, Cameron Maben, taking a strike. Ball, 1 strike. Boxberger last worked on the 13th, picking up his 10th save in the 3-2 win over the Yankees. Ahead of Maben, a ball and 2 strikes. Adonis Garcia is on deck. High ball into right. Souza Jr. back and makes the catch. 2 gone.
Davis, who's a junior, being tested again on a hard hit ball out there to right field, but this time the correct angle, the correct read, and he puts it away easily.
Well, here's Garcia pinch hitting for the pitcher Massett. Garcia just up from AAA. He was hitting .351 in the minor leagues. It's outside, a ball and no strikes. Two and 0. In the Yankee system last year. It's Scranton. There's a strike in the upper part of the zone.
Rene Rivera was like, okay, I appreciate the fact there was a strike. I was expecting the heater.
Big cut and a miss. Fastball, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know that Garcia can handle the fastball, but when you get that slow changeup by Boxberger previously, he was a day late on that one.
And just a little bit of that one foul. So we'll do it again on 2 and 2. Rays on the heels of the Sunday win over the Twins, 11-3. Lead 5-3 in this one, and the Rays are winners. Cut and a miss by Garcia. 3 up and 3 down in the 9th inning. And the Rays take the first game of this 2-game set in Atlanta. It's a 5-3 final here. Ramirez will pick up the win. He's 2-1. Foltynewicz is the loser. His record is 2-1. And Brad Boxberger picks up his 11th save of this season. And the Rays are now even on this road trip with 2 wins and 2 losses.
Well, here it is. Couple of fastballs previously, and then Garcia, you get him sped up, and then here's the changeup. He thinks he's all over it, and he is out in front and over the top, and that would finish off what turns out to be 4 stellar innings by the Rays bullpen in picking up Erasmo Ramirez and pulling out the win in the opener of this 2-game set.